Live from their studio in South Florida, Twist Gaming. Featuring lead broadcaster, Matt Koza. Co-host and creative genius, Josh Perry. Co-host and interviewer extraordinaire, Ann Lazito. Co-host and marketing mogul, Aaron Murphy. With appearances from special guest, Lucy. Welcome to Twist Gaming, where you get to play board games with us.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. This is Twist Gaming, where you get to play board games with us. We're coming to you live from our studio here in South Florida, bringing you another episode of Twitch Plays Middara. But before we go any further, Josh lost my pages. I'm Matt.
I'm Ann.
I'm Josh, and Matt didn't put his pages away.
And so he threw them away out of
You
spite.
guys
Filthy
are children
slut.
because you play the intro and I can't talk. So
You
all
can't
I hear
talk.
is you two bicker.
No, you can talk.
You told me last time if I talk. That
He just
that
didn't want to
plays
hear you
through.
that one day. So, Josh, what happened on the last episode of Twitch Plays Middara?
We had a boss fight. We fought Echo and the Stitcher.
How'd that go?
We won.
Did we sing the song?
We are the champions.
No.
My friend.
No. Hey, Soul Stitcher.
It's
No.
Yeah. Come on, Josh.
not the. really
Oh, Toad
interesting
Sings
song?
Moana?
Yeah.
Yeah. We played Toad Sings Moana, too.
How about Toad sings the Soul Stitcher?
Hey, Soul Stitcher?
Yeah.
Oh, that's very meta.
How about Toad never sings anything again because that was terrible and I never want to hear that.
It's costume time.
Matt, that photo of you in the hedgehog onesie is everything I live for.
More so than your children?
I gotta have my priorities straight.
Oh, goodness. What else happened? So we fought the Soul Stitcher and Echo. We won. Did we do anything else, or was that pretty much it? I don't remember.
We didn't read the story afterwards, so
That's what we're doing
at
now.
story time now.
Story time. The kids are fine. So real quick, before we get into story time, it is time for us to build out our characters a little bit.
It's going to be part of the story time. It's like midway through.
Okay.
Thanks for being wrong, Matt. I guess if you had highlighted pages, you would know that.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'll be over here stirring the pot.
So, stir away.
I see what I'm eating.
We're on Lost Love, so does everyone have their pages ready?
Yeah, everyone has pages. I'm going to go in costume time because I really don't have anything to read in the first part of
Is
this.
that because you lost your pages too?
No, I have my pages. Rook just doesn't talk a lot.
Because Josh and Rick all both say like one line.
Yeah. Whose line is it anyways? Okay. So, Lost Love. Echo staggered back, bleeding from a dozen different wounds. She frantically looked over her shoulder to where her Esper had been following. The Soul Stitcher lay where it had been struck down. It seemed to stretch its body, warping and distorting. The space behind it twisted in on itself, swallowing the robe with a crackling energy and leaving Echo alone inside the cave. "It's over, Echo," Zephyr said, lowering his sword. "The Esper isn't here. He can't control you anymore." Echo reached into her satchel, but the effort was too much for her struggling body, and she dropped to her knees, looking up with glassy, lucid eyes.
I watched Batman. I watched Justice League this weekend, and I was thinking of you doing this voice. Did I do something wrong, Zephyr?
Yes. No. Echo asked with a shaking voice.
I'm sorry. I can't help it. All of the things they did to me to keep me alive for their sick purposes.
No, and it's sick porpoises.
Porpoises.
She curled into a fetal position on the ground, clutching at her legs. Blood pooled around her, smearing across her clothes. Zephyr dropped down to his knees beside her, pulling out a first aid kit and flipping it open. He rested one hand on her shoulder for a second.
Where was Zephyr when we were fighting?
"Stop moving," he said gently. "I'll take care of it. I'll get this all taken care of." Echo began sobbing, shuddering at each gasp of breath. "You need to stop moving," Zephyr said again, trying to find the places to apply the pressure. Damocles advanced on them, no indication of pity in his posture. "She still has crimes to answer for," Damocles said, his voice cold and flat. "My mother's blood is on her hands." Echo coughed and spit fresh mouthful of dark red blood onto the ground in front of her. Zephyr rested his hand on her shoulders. "This isn't the time for interrogation, Damocles," Zephyr said. "Wait until I'm finished. Without a Esper, she won't be able to keep herself going. Be patient, and we'll find your mother, Justice." Damocles moved forward, picking up one of Echo's daggers from where she had dropped them. "There's no reason to patch her up," Damocles said. "Echo is a murderer, and she deserves to die." Zephyr put down the medical supplies and rose on his feet, turning his back to Echo and resting one hand on the hilt of his sword. "Wait!" he said, voice commanding. "I understand your desire for revenge, but your dagger is aimed at the wrong throat. Echo isn't the one who killed your mother." "No, she's not." Damocles raised the knife a little higher. "But Hendrix would never have killed my mom if it wasn't for her orders." Damocles pointed the knife at Echo and glared. "Look at her, Damocles. She didn't have a choice." Zephyr held his hand up. "You saw the way that thing controlled her. Sharon is behind all of her actions. Sharon is responsible for your mother's death. Whatever his scheme was, it wasn't hers." Damocles hesitated, the dagger drooping in his hand. "I don't see the difference. Killing Echo removes the guilty party and takes a resource away from Sharon." "We're nothing to him," Zephyr responded. "Echo is his puppet. She's just another victim. If you want to get back at him, kill the thing controlling her. Help me free her and we can fight Sharon together. We can kill the real monster who is behind your mother's death." Just because you have a past with this girl doesn't mean she's innocent," Damocles said. "She's as innocent as Nightingale." Zephyr spit. "When the Maluma was taking over Nightingale's body, will you blame her for what it does?"
Why is your whole sentence one word? That's cute, John.
Damocles glanced back to Nightingale, who watched him nervously. He scowled one last time at Echo before dropping the dagger and turning away with a hurried, dismissive gesture. "This is bullshit," he grumbled. Zephyr dropped back beside Echo to resume his work. "We can banish that creature controlling her. Then we take her to the royal family. Make them see just how dangerous Sharon can be, even while trapped." Justice made her way over to where Echo had fallen. She made no hostile gesture, her book stayed closed, and she had no weapons. She frisked Echo until she found the Pontifex piece she had stolen from Zephyr.
I'm taking this to Zephyr. I'm sorry, but you shouldn't be carrying it or after what you've done. Think of it as insurance.
Justice snapped the Pontifex around her neck. Zephyr looked like he might protest for a moment. Instead, he gave a half-hearted nod. Justice turned away from Zephyr and Echo and looked to Nightingale.
I think we should keep these away from you too, Princess. For now. Wouldn't you say?
No, don't let her take it.
The Maluma screamed in her head, and Nightingale visibly recoiled at the thought of losing this piece she had. Nightingale put one hand on the stone around her neck and enjoyed the feeling of it for a moment before smiling at Justice.
How about you keep yours, and I'll keep mine. That way, we don't have all our eggs in one basket.
Justice looked at her for a moment in silence, inspecting her. The look Justice gave Nightingale made her feel angry. Nightingale could see she didn't trust her with the Pontifex piece.
Too bad she has no choice.
Nightingale thought a bit vindictively. Then she paused, realizing that was the voice was the Maluma's, not hers. Eventually, Justice nodded with a worried look.
Okay, but make sure that...
Justice, look out! Zeke shouted and darted for her with his weapon drawn. The Stole Stitcher had risen, its ragged cloak tearing through the space behind Echo. As it did, the cloak loomed above Justice and Zephyr, a swirling vortex of energy coming to reclaim its puppet. Within the vortex, Nightingale could briefly make out a throne made from living, gurgling tar dotted with glowing pinpricks of light. A figure stirred on the throne, and for a second it seemed to be looking straight through the opening at her.
No!
Nightingale yelled and sprinted alongside Zeke in an attempt to stop the creature from hurting Justice or Zephyr.
Get away!
In the last moments of Echo's lucidity, she shoved Zephyr, knocking him away with an inhuman strength. The man slid and ran into the far slid and ran into the far wall with a thud. Justice peered into the abyss of the Esper's amorphous form above her, like a window to another dimension. Inside the Soul Stitcher, the figure atop the throne stared back at her, two empty sockets hidden beneath a dark cloak. A wave of terror overcame Justice, and she froze as the Esper came crashing down on top of her, swallowing her whole. Justice let out a muffled scream, then turned to silence as the Soul Stitcher opened back up, revealing an empty space where Justice once was. Nightingale can see Justice inside the Soul Stitcher, frantically clawing to get out. Behind her, a massive hooded figure loomed. Strangely, no sound penetrated the window, and Nightingale could only see Justice silently screaming and clawing at the interior of the Soul Stitcher.
What the hell?
Rook gripped his weapon firmly and stepped in front of Nightingale.
What did you do to her?
Don't worry.
Echo said, the madness in her voice returning.
Your friend isn't dead. I've simply sent her somewhere else.
Zeke roared with anger, charging in to free Justice. The Soul Stitcher's portal closed as quickly as it had opened, and Zeke ran through the Esper like it wasn't even there, hitting the floor where Justice had been moments before. Suddenly, the Maluma whirled into existence like it had never done before. Everyone recoiled and pulled weapons out. Nightingale glanced around, realizing that she wasn't the only one who can see the putrid mass. This time it was visible to Erwan.
Fool!
The Maluma screamed at Echo.
Why would you throw her into that vile creature's lair? She had the Pontifex piece with her.
The Maluma sounded livid, and even Nightingale stepped back. Echo laughed.
Me? I did nothing. The Soul Stitcher must not have known. Good riddance, too. I hope Charon rots for eternity in the tomb we put him in. Maybe I'll get the chance to tear you from that girl's body, too.
Echo threw a glance at Nightingale. Realizing that Echo had tricked it, the Soul Stitcher screamed in anger. A sharp, high-pitched ringing resonated through the cave. Josh.
No.
Thank you. Nightingale tried to cover her ears, but barely helped at all. Her head pounded in a painful rhythm with the noise. Echo, on the other hand, took joy in the monster's anguish. She laughed even harder than before.
You son of a bitch. Good luck getting the Pontifex from a Shadow Lord's lair. I bet even Charon is going to have a hell of a time making that happen.
A dozen needles suddenly shot from the Soul Stitcher, sticking into Echo at various angles. The Soul Stitcher lifted her off the ground, and her eyes went wide with pain as blood trickled down the needles. The creature flew into the air, moving straight for the ceiling of the cave, slashing at the stone with massive metal hook. Echo's flesh strained and tore, but most of her made it up into the air with it. The Stitcher had cut a hole wide enough for both of them to pass through, sending huge chunks of stone tumbling to the ground. Zephyr emerged from the dust of the falling rocks. Echo! I'll save you! It was all he could think to say in the final moments before Echo was pulled over the crest of the hole into the ceiling. With a furious snarl, the Maluma retreated back into Nightingale. Its dark essence sucked into her eyes and mouth, leaving everyone around her mortified at the sight. Only Zephyr ignored the creature, choosing to stare after where Echo had been dragged off. Nightingale's eyes twitched an uncomfortable feeling of the Maluma shooting back into her. It felt like someone pulled a long string through her sinuses. She fell through to her knees, stunned, choosing to focus only on her breathing. For a moment, everything was eerily silent. Nightingale had hardly noticed that Rook had come to her side. She held up the one Pontifex piece they still had, but its glow was drowned out in the sunlight coming through the opening. Then something moved in the cave entrance. They heard the sound of dirt and rocks being pushed aside as someone crawled through behind them. The group turned, raising their weapons in preparation for whatever other horror they might encounter. Nightingale looked over and saw Shayless Arson, her older sister, stood near the chamber's entrance. Instead of an institute uniform or an elegant dress, she wore sturdy leather, well worn by hard travel. She had a long chain in both hands, trailing a massive blade from one end and a pair of wickedly barbed hooks from the other. Rook spun on the newcomer, his weapon drooping a little in her grip.
Shayless Arson? What are you doing here?
He looked around sheepishly.
You're supposed to be in the capital.
So is my sister.
Shayla said, looking down at Nightingale.
Yes, here we are.
Shayla surveyed the damage that Echo had done. She put away her weapon once she realized the threat was gone.
What the hell is going on?
She asked as she crouched down near Nightingale, breathing a sigh of relief that her sister was still alive. Nightingale was still in shock at Shayla's sudden appearance.
What are you doing here?
Does the party have the story flag experience guide?
We do.
Continue to an old friend, page 352.
This is going to be their romantical.
Since Josh is going green suit, I wonder how many costumes you could stack with him. Shayless looked around, scanning the group.
What am I doing here? Are you serious? You didn't make yourselves easy to find. I've been traveling for days.
Her eyes fell on Patrick and widened.
Patrick?
She muttered softly. Patrick's mouth hung open as he stared at Shayless. He knew her face well, though it had been a very long time since he'd seen her. Shayless Arson had changed very little since their last encounter. Living in Middara meant age would not wear them down, so the changes were more subtle. Her horns were a little smaller, worn smoother towards the tips. She slumped a little as she stood, weary from exhausting, lonely travel. Even so, this was far more the Shayless he remembered, with armor instead of a frilly gown and a weapon instead of a scroll. Your sister came by my shop in Ramstead. She's in trouble, so I decided to help her, he said coolly.
He said coolly. So cool.
Shayless walked up to him and looked for a moment like she might give him a hug. Instead, they just stood there for a few silent seconds.
Thank you.
She paused, fumbling for words.
For stepping up to help my sister.
Shayless took another step toward him and reached for his hand, but was snapped out of the moment when Zeke interrupted. More like we ended up helping him, he said with a wide grin. Am I right?
Correct.
Patrick stepped away and looked sideways. Yeah, I guess we helped each other out.
How'd you find us?
Nightingale was propped against Rook and looking up at her sister.
All the way out in the middle of nowhere like this. Wasn't easy.
Shayless admitted, wiping dirt from Nightingale's cheeks.
I sent some help to hide, but when they showed up, you'd already been there. Even offered yourself as a hired help. I'm told you took a reward as well. Yeah.
Remi bit her lip.
About that. No worries.
There was no anger in Shayless's voice.
I'm just glad everyone's alive.
She hugged Nightingale briefly.
I've been on your trail ever since I got the tip you'd been in hide.
Shayless put both of her hands on her hips and inspected everyone's injuries.
Enough about me, though. What the hell happened to you guys? What's going on here? Why did you leave Alania without telling me?
Zeke interrupted as he helped attend to Remi and Rook's wounds. How about we find our way out of this damn cave? Then we'll have plenty of time to recount our adventures. Continue to Finding Justice, page 356. I don't know about you, but I'm on page 356.
That's not even a 22.
They had left the cave behind and were now crossing the swamps, following Shayless's guidance. Nightingale recounted their travels as they went. Shayless knew exactly where she was going, thanks to a map she would consult periodically.
That's why we need these pieces.
Nightingale finished.
Because when you put all three together, like the Triforce, you can create the completed Triforce Pontifex, which can be used to unseal the Maluma from me and get Ganondorf out for good. That makes enough sense.
Shayless nodded.
So, by saving the princess, Justice...
We'll be able to retrieve the pieces she was carrying.
Rook said. That's not the only reason to go after her, though, Zeke interrupted. We wouldn't have lived through Gahano without her. It's our duty to get her out of whatever that was.
Unfortunately, I have an idea of where that might be.
Shayless said reluctantly. How's that unfortunate? Zeke exclaimed. That's great!
You don't understand.
Shayless said, shaking her head.
That thing you saw through the portal? Are you certain it was a Shadow Lord?
She stopped walking and looking toward the group. That's what I heard them call it. Damocles looked sure of himself. Shayless sighed.
Shadow Lords are the sort of things we tell stories about at the Institute to keep students from exploring the deep ruins. They're more like gods than monsters. You're like a child.
Shayla's pulled out her map and pointed to a spot just south of the city of Greyhaven.
This is the closest known lair.
Closest known lair? Why is it marked on this map?
Rook peered over her
the
shoulder.
travelers know where not to go?
Shayla said flatly.
I bet this is probably where your friend was sent. The next nearest known Shadow Lord is on the other side of the continent of Holtis. So cross your fingers.
I wish it was closer.
Why are you
Rook
air
muttered.
me?
It would take weeks to hike that far, and we don't have the supplies if we have to stop and hunt along the way.
We won't.
Shayla grinned, tucking away her map.
There's a sky ferry just outside the swamps. That's convenient. We'll take it straight over the middle passage to Greyhaven. Why walk when you can ride?
She turned, setting off down the trail again.
Light a fire under your asses, and we might even get there before the mosquitoes kill us all. Oh, look, they're in Florida.
Justice has been thrown into the lair of Shadow Lord. Mark her as unselectable on the adventure sheet. Special, all injured party members are no longer injured. New party member, Shaylish joins the party. Players must immediately set up Shaylish by going through the following steps. Reveal small, medium, and large hidden cards UM45 to access the Shaylish Arson Initiative card, story item, and adventurer card. Shaylish gains the Wretched Story item. Shaylish joins the party with a random rare core or armor and 50 gold. Then Shaylish gains 41 XP. She may learn any discipline she has enough XP for. Record all the information on the adventure sheet from the point forward. Players may choose to play as Shaylish using her adventurer card. Players are still limited to 4 adventures in the active group. Flag check: does the party have the story flag massacred?
No. I wanna show off.
Joshua.
Continue to the ferry, page 358. But let's show off Shaylish. She's got magical.
Can we say what the other one was? The title of the other story?
Under Pressure.
Dun, 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 dun.
What?
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 In the butt?
It's Shaylish Arson, so she has 5 SP max. She's got Magic Persona, so Exhaust, and she can reroll her Conviction roll. 5 Presence, 4 Lore, 4 Agility, 2 Perception, 3 Strength, 12 Health, 9 Defense, 6 Movement. She starts off with this thing, the Wretched, which is really cool. It's a flippable weapon, so you could either use it as like a ranged spinny chain sword thingy, which is really sweet. If you roll 6 shields while making an attack, you replace 1 space your target occupies with a dangerous terrain token, so you basically put them into a hole. And then the other side, you could use the melee weapon side of it, and it is when an opponent is defeated within sphere of influence, you get a time token on it, and then you can spend time tokens to add +1 to your attack rolls. So that's pretty swanky. What random armor did she have, Josh? Oh, she got the random core, which was the God Machine, which I stole.
Yep.
So
Zeke stole her gear.
Yeah, Zeke stole her gear. So continue to the ferry, page 358. It took a couple days to make out of the Carrion swamps. Eventually, the swamps started to thin, and the humidity started to let up, replaced with a refreshing breeze. Soon, the dock came into view. Nightingale found herself grinning at the sight of civilization, though the docks didn't have much to offer. A single rundown inn called the Rusty Propeller, a few warehouses, and a row of sketchy stalls with seedy-looking merchants who pointed and waved openly at their group as they approached.
I want to stay in an inn called the Rusty Propeller.
What do you think that is on Urban
like
Dictionary?
A fantastic dive bar.
The Rusty Propeller? I don't want to know. It's probably when you hang from a ceiling fan and poop on someone.
What are you? What?
The Urban Dictionary for
Rusty Propeller. Josh is going to
don't.
Google it now.
You are. You're so rich. I know you've been stuck in the swamp for a while.
Shaylish said.
I could smell it as soon as I found you. Take this chance to buy anything you need for the trip to Greyhaven. Pull yourselves together, and I'll pick up our tickets. Come find me when you're ready to go. Yeah.
Nightingale was only half listening. Nearby, she looked up at the old flying ship they'd be riding in. It looked like a real pirate ship, something she always wanted to fly on. These are... what? Oh. And do you want to read your thoughts?
I thought it was a Maluma. These are real adventurers.
She thought as the others walked past her. They were happy just to be somewhere that wasn't a swamp. Continue to story around Sky Harbor, page 359.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Rusty Propeller is a popular alcoholic drink of the Lehigh Valley, first created in 2009 by undergrad. It contains 24 ounces of water, 6 ounces of vodka, and 2 instant Propel packets. It's traditionally berry flavored and served in a Naglini?
A what?
Naglene? Nalgene.
Nalgene.
Nalgene?
Nalgene water bottle.
Yeah. It's water and vodka and powder mix.
It's instant Propel mix with vodka in it, and you put it in a water bottle because you're an alcoholic student.
Yep.
But I don't get why it's called a Rusty Propeller.
Propel fitness.
Propel.
Yeah, it's Propel fitness powder that they put in
That's
it.
a stretch.
Yeah, it's not very good. Story around Sky Harbor. Shop and train. You may spend gold and learn disciplines with XP. In addition, you may trade any gear amongst your party members and party stash. The store contains the following items and item upgrades for sale. After completing this step, return all items and item upgrades to their respective decks before adventurers explore. Adventure 4th players choose the active group. All rare items, all rare item upgrades. All upgrades players have materials for. 1 random rare unique item. All non-unique items and item upgrades from previous tiers. Explore. As a group, you may choose the following and then proceed to its listed page. You may not choose a side quest you've already attempted. It's NA.
We don't have any side quests now.
So then what's the point?
It's a shopping phase, and then we continue story. It's just a template for it.
That's stupid. All right, so let's show off what we upgraded. So I upgraded my dagger to the Dagger of Ruination. It goes from a red die to a green die. I keep my backstab ability. I upgrade my throw ability from a red die to a gray die of damage. And then now it has a passive ability for each attack you make each turn after the first, get +1 to your attack roll.
Real quick before you do that, Matt, can we go over the upgrades for Twitch's skill?
No.
So I can get that poll running while we go over everything else?
No, I hate you. So Twitch, you have 3 options for your different skill that you can take in your level 4 Crore. So first is Anne's favorite, Ineptitude. So this one is a passive ability that gives you +4 health, and then when an opponent ends their turn adjacent to you, inflict disease. Josh, what's disease?
It's a status effect that you can't heal and you can't get positive status tokens.
No, Joshua, it's when you're sick.
Next up is He Watches, which is a passive ability. During your movement, you have flight, so you just fly everywhere. And you also have an exhaust ability to deal yourself 3 irreducible damage and gain a vow token. And then finally...
This is what Joshua does when I go over to his house and I have to do work and he wants me to pay attention to him like a puppy. He watches.
Last is Bring the Shadows. And this is 2 SP, moves 6 spaces. The movement counts as your move action and does not provoke break attacks. During this movement, you may not move through opponents. Then cast a spell 6 against each figure moved through, ignoring Sphere of Influence. Deal a blue die of magic damage and inflict darkness. Josh, I don't think you could add movement to this.
Yeah,
it just says moved 6 spaces.
Yeah, I didn't realize it said move. I just thought it was a move action.
Yeah.
So the plus movement things don't make sense for it necessarily?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
So Twitch, you have a poll up right now. You can vote for any of those 3 options by typing 1, 2, or 3, or the first word of each thing. So, guys, vote, and we'll go over the rest of the upgrades that we got. So, going back to what I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, I get the +1 to all of my attack rolls in succession after the first one, so I'm going to keep ramping up my attacks, which I do a lot of attacks, which is nice. It's got 2 shields is +3 physical damage. A star is +4 physical damage, so I can alternate now between either +4 physical damage or +3 magic damage.
One thing while they're doing that, can you show off the Pontifex thing? Because I do want to make a note about the relic, the Pontifex. They can trigger Bring the Shadows as a counteraction.
Right, so this is
one thing.
the first piece of the Pontifex exhaust counter. When making this counter, you may use a discipline costing 2 SP or less that casts a spell instead of making an attack. All other counter rules still apply. So basically, if you get hit, you can run around the board, run through people, and do a blue die of magic damage and inflict disease on people for free.
Yep.
And it's an exhaust
That's really
ability.
nice.
That's nice. Sorry, Anne, what were you saying?
Merrick Stubb says that I need to get a water bottle so that I can squirt Joshua and he's acting like a lost puppy.
Gotcha. So to make additional attacks, I picked up this Onslaught ability. I had just enough XP for it. So this is 3 SP, make an attack, follow up, make an attack. The second attack has follow up, make an attack. So now I can make...
That's the sword's ability.
So I can make like 5 attacks per turn now. 6 if I've got max SP.
Yep.
And then 8 if I've got max SP and I want to use my 2 Dealy Bobbers. Which, that means that the last attack will have +7 to the attack.
Something silly like that.
So, yeah. I swapped out my Too Many Belts for Spray Undergarment. So this has an exhaust ability. When an opponent makes an attack against you before they roll, I can exhaust this to gain resistance physical damage until the end of the turn. So I could use that to mitigate a big hit on me, which is nice. Yeah, 3 SP, 3 attacks of each of the first 2 hits. So yeah, Shadowrunner, my goal is to do my free attacks first, so I boost up my likelihood of hitting my subsequent attacks and just keep ramping. And then finally, I stole the God Machine from Shayless, which is I got rid of my Haste Core.
Yeah.
So this gives me +4 defense, exhaust for a counter, and then I can exhaust to move 3 spaces, which is what I'm more interested in. The 3 spaces with flight. So that's my upgrades.
I'll go over Twitches real quick.
Yeah, let's go over.
Just the staff and the upgrade to the staff.
Oh, I forgot that they didn't upgrade. So they got the staff. So they got the Doomcaster now. This is 2 gray dice if they smack someone with it, which is ridiculous. They've got a casting upgrade of gray. When determining the force of a spell, tokens on this card may be spent to add +1 to the roll. So this is a beefed up version of their last one, right? Is Dagger cumulative or simple +1 on other attacks since the wording trigger is after the first attack? Each attack you make after the first adds +1 to your attack roll. Oh, maybe it is just +1.
Just +1.
Oh, that's not as good. Whatever. All right.
Excuse me, Matthew. What is that called?
Doomcaster?
No. Try again.
Oh, Doomcaster.
Thank you.
This has an exhaust ability. When you fail to affect a target with the spell, add 1 token. This one has a limit of 4 instead of a limit of 3. Yep. And then it has another exhaust ability. 1 SP, cast a spell 6. If successful, roll your casting die, and both of your conviction dice deal your target magic damage equal to the highest number rolled. Oh.
That's lovely.
Oh, that's a shitload of damage. Oh my goodness. Okay.
And then they got a cool upgrade for it. So Twitch was short a little gold for this, so I gave them the 14 gold they were short. Because I had a little bit of extra money.
And this is when determining the force of a spell, add +1 to your roll.
Yep.
Just permanently.
Permanently.
It's nice. How much does it cost to do upgrades?
It depends on the level, the rarity of the weapon.
How about a rare weapon?
75 gold.
I have 0 gold.
Yep.
So. I mean, Anne's not spending her gold, so I'll just take it from her.
Carries a 3.
Yeah, it's the
I
highest
spent my
die.
money.
So it's the highest rolled, but that's still
oh.
potential 10 damage.
Yeah, it's still a lot. Okay, so then this is options for their other stuff.
So if they look like they want to bring the shadows, so they could change it. I probably wouldn't go. I would probably, if anything, go with the one on the left you have, the one you just dropped for them.
Oblation's Expiation.
Yes. So if they're going to be a little bit closer, this gives them +1 defense.
Yeah.
Which would put their defense to 14, I think.
Also gives them a passive +2 to dodge rolls too.
So this might be a possible good item. Over the dress is what gives them rerolls though. So you want to put the dress up to so they can kind of just compare.
So they would net less. They would net 2 less health, but gain a movement, gain a defense.
Yep.
They reduce physical damage, but they gain a dodge, but they lose a reroll. And I don't know.
So that's up to chat to discuss. There's also another relic they can grab,
which is the MP3 player, which is +1 movement, but exhaust after an opponent within sphere of influence makes a conviction check, re-roll their conviction check. So basically, if someone rolls a really good conviction check, you'd be like, no. Redo that.
So that's up for discussion. Since we don't have a fight tonight, that can wait till this is stuff we have like in storage.
Yeah, and Josh was suggesting potentially getting rid of Hemlock and Seer because this would change them into
Why?
more of a frontline build instead of a range pew-pew build.
Because Bring the Shadow, they want to run through enemies
Yeah.
to do damage to them, so they're going to be a little bit closer in combat. So.
And then potentially getting rid of the Doombreak as well because they have free haste, so they get 4 XP per turn anyways.
So, it's up for discussion.
What would you replace the Doombreak with?
Potentially put the Pontifex and the MP3 player on them for Hemlock and Seer and Doombreak. Keep the Ring of Blood so that way they have their heal ability. Just thoughts.
Yeah.
Josh, what are your upgrades? Home Slice?
My upgrades is I just got new weapons because I desperately needed them.
Yeah,
Because I was still on common weapons.
And so you picked up, say it, Josh?
The 7? Civilian?
Yeah.
Yes,
Nope.
the 7.
The 7.
It's the
The
7.
7.
It's Stormfront. Yeah. Did you watch the new episode, by the way?
I have not watched the new episode yet.
This is a gray die. One hand. Gives you +1 armor, +2 health. It lets you exhaust to empower.
That's if you
If you have a range, but you don't have a ranged weapon. You're comboing with melee, though, so it's going to give you finesse blue die.
So it's going to be a blue die instead of a gray die.
You don't have finesse on this one, though.
No, the finesse is just the term for giving you the blue die.
Oh,
You need
because
the
it's
melee
combo
weapon.
melee. Yeah,
Combo
yeah,
melee.
yeah. So it has exhaust counter, and then passive. Anytime an ally within sphere of influence heals from a source with a discard condition, they heal 1. So they heal an additional 1.
Yep.
And then follow up, deal physical damage to each figure adjacent to your target equal to the amount of shields you spend. That's nice. You also picked
The
up.
way the leaves are near Josh, it looks like Josh is hiding behind a plant, like a fern.
What leaves?
I think that's like a monster or
I
something.
think it's hair.
Yeah, it's hair.
Yeah.
Gravedigger's Mistress. This is a blue die. It is a blunt Morning Star. Combo shield blunt, which this one has shield.
Yeah, so it combos. It has to be a shield or blunt.
Shield or blunt.
Yeah.
And this is exhaust. When countering, you may re-roll any of your dice. And then passive, all break attacks made against you get -1 to the re-roll. 2 shields is +3 damage. A star is +4 physical damage. And the star follow-up, if the target of your attack was defeated, move up to 2 spaces. So Josh is going to continue to abuse his I'm going to run around and counter people.
Yep. The other thing I did is I upgraded my core to the God Machine like Matt did. So we did have 2 of them. Anne has taken my monocle. So she has a cool eye gear. And that's Anne's upgrades.
I thought Anne wasn't doing what you said.
She wasn't doing the rest of what I said. That's what she did.
She's got the Spectral Banner. It's like the David Banner. It's 2 blue dice, 2-handed weapon, reach 2. All opponents within reach 2 provoke a break attack. If you ever miss with an attack using this ability, exhaust this card. You may not use this ability until this card is unexhausted. And then exhaust, choose another ally within the sphere of influence. When making an attack, you are considered to be attacking from the space your chosen ally occupies. Well, that's nice. So 2 shield is +3 damage, and a star is +4 damage. You got some Foreboding, Anne, and this is any exhaust anytime reroll any dice except the black die that you rolled or that were rolled against you. I know why you picked that one. Then you got Anticipated Attack, which is a passive ability. During your dodge roll, gain 2 books +1 to dodge. And then Anne is friends with benefits, apparently. So when you use Discipline Summoning, gain 1 additional summoning token. When you spawn an Esper, you and the Esper you control each gain Haste, Barrier, and Courage. It's nice. So you're actually going to be summoning stuff, Anne? Mr. Sword is cool. I like Mr. Sword.
She's also at
Also
level 3 now,
card.
so she could spawn the twins.
Twinsies.
Twin Savani.
Everybody likes twins. And so it looks like Twitch voted for Bring the Shadows. So this is going to be the one you wanted, Josh, of them casting the spell and running around like a jerk.
Yep.
All right, so we can put these 2 back in the pile.
Now, I think it's fair to mention Joshua had a really good idea, which I'm just not comfortable with.
It's
where
too good.
there was a combo that we could do where I could get rid of my Zimbato and replace it with a common item and it would add points to my hit.
So there's a weapon upgrade called Perfected. So you get a common item. Common items only cost 15 gold to upgrade. And it says if it's equipped to a common item, you get +3 to your rolls. And since she has two-handed weapons, and your Geiger script says you can use dice from either or to make up your pool, she doesn't have to actually use the dice from the common items. She could use it from the new weapon she has, which she's going to do anyway, to get +3 to her rolls. But she wants the effects of the Zambato instead.
Oh, you're using 2 weapons.
Yeah.
All right, so the flight to Greyhaven, page 361.
Those are highlighted for you now, Matt. That was the new stack I gave you.
Doesn't look highlighted.
The stack in front of you is.
Salty, 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 salty. There was an airship moored on the docks, sleek and sharp, with a single mast carrying a large white and black flag decorated with a flaming skull. Near the back of the ship, a large blue stone was chained down to the deck.
Is that their cargo?
Nightingale asked Shayless.
That's Ilium, you dork.
Is that like Itlam?
Yeah, that's it.
Is the T silent in it?
Ilium. Yeah, you know that's how they pronounce it.
Shayless laughed,
really
slapping her
become more
sister
cultured.
on the back playfully.
It's what makes the ship float. I know what a float core is.
Nightingale grumbled.
I've never seen anyone put it on the deck of their ship, so isn't that a little weird? Every ship is different.
Shayless shrugged as she went up the stairs.
The airships that the royal family commissioned happen to have all their float cores built below deck. Looks way cooler up top.
Nightingale mused, eyes wide at the spectacular sight.
Yeah? Well, when the Itlim is revealed like that, it only takes one hit to the float core from a cannon or a deadly spell to send the whole ship down.
Shayless smiled, making an explosive gesture with her fist.
Okay, I didn't even read that part before I did my awesome sound effects, so I'm totally feeling jealous. That's why we built ours below deck. Easier to hide them that way.
The docks were really catwalks, hanging over the canyon itself. There were no railings, only a 100-foot drop to rough...
Shore far below.
Stone far below.
Stone far below, not shore. Nightingale shivered, staying as close to the middle of the dock as she could. As she climbed the rickety steps, Nightingale found herself wishing for the well-built and maintained docks of hide. As she neared the ship, Nightingale saw her initial impressions hadn't been quite right. The slick-wed metal made up the majority of the ship and was adorned with chrome-colored rudders, rails, and accessories, which made it look formidable. But the moment Nightingale was standing close, she realized how very small the ship was. Despite the impressive sail and spear gun beneath the bow, naming it the Oppressor seemed a bit of an overstatement. Shayless stood on the edge of the deck, conversing with a wiry man with a clipboard and a pair of spectacles. As Nightingale approached, she saw Shayless hand over a small pouch of coins. The man took them, feeling the weight. "I think this'll do fine," he said before his eyes settled on Nightingale. "Is this one of your passengers?" Shayless nodded.
This is Nightingale, my sister.
The man only grunted, and looked over her. "Aye. And what are you, 8 stone?" He didn't wait for a reply, turning to shout out at the direction of the helm. 8 stone, Effie!
8!
Came a reply shout, and the sound of machinery got slightly louder. The ship began to rise, straining at the ropes, and the man gestured behind them. "Get on, then! Don't just watch us drift away now!" Nightingale stepped aboard, and the deck gave slightly under her weight, as though it were floating in an invisible ocean.
You regulate your lift engines manually?
Shayless asked, sounding surprised.
How hard is that to keep up?
The crewman laughed. "Never mind that. The Oppressor will get you where you need to go. Won't find a better ship in the port." Nightingale choked back a laugh, looking around them as she made her way to the bow. There weren't any other ships in port. An hour later, and they were underway. Nightingale had worried that she might get sick from the motion of the ship as it constantly rocked back and forth while they were loading cargo and passengers. Once they got moving, it was quite stable, without any bobbing or swaying like a seafaring ship. Nightingale found a place to lean off the edge of the bow railing. Air blasted past her, and she could almost imagine what it might be like to have wings like Remi, and be able to fly on her own. She saw several of her friends on deck doing much the same thing, though she was grateful nobody came up to talk. After what had happened in Gahana, Nightingale wanted a little time to herself. The canyon below was deeper than she might have expected. Much of it was obscured by mist, though she occasionally caught a glimpse of exotic blue-green plants, their bioluminescent lighting patches of fog. When she felt a little more steady, Nightingale went looking for her friends. She found Remi, Rook, and Shayless lounging on cushions and little stools under a bright woven canopy near the helm.
Come on.
Shayless patted a chair beside her, holding up a shiny metal flask. Nightingale hurried over, grinning.
Where's Zeke?
She asked.
Sulkin.
Rook answered, tilting his head toward the stern.
He's still shaken up over losing justice. Can't blame him.
Nightingale had needed a moment by herself as well, so she understood. She took the seat.
What's in the flask?
Shayless offered it to her.
Why don't you find out? Just a sip, though. It's strong stuff.
Remi choked back a laugh, looking pointedly away. Nightingale took the drink and sniffed it. It smelled familiar, though the memory was distant, and she could not put a name to it. The liquid inside was piping hot. She tossed back the flask, and her eyes widened. It was amazing, a medley of sweet tangs and musky spices.
What is this?
Nightingale made to take another drink, but wasn't fast enough. Shayla snatched it back, securing the cap again and slipping it into her clothing.
Pretty good, right?
She asked, grinning.
One of those little perks of coming out this far. Rare spices are much easier to come by.
Flag check. Does the story have the flag experience guide?
We do.
Continue to Old Friends, page 362.
I never got to thank you properly.
Patrick turned as he heard Shayless's voice. He found a quiet corner under the deck to work, where he could spread out his gear and make repairs. He set the brush and tiny jar of oil on the table and made to rise.
No, don't get up.
Shayless pushed him gently back into the chair, looking down at his work from beside him.
I wouldn't want to come between a craftsman and his labor.
She paused.
I'm not sure my sister would have made it without you.
She said very quietly.
You did a good job getting her this far.
It ain't worth doing if you're not doing it right, Patrick replied, smiling slightly. He selected a trigger mechanism from where it rested on the soft leather wrap and started cleaning it with the brush. I have to admit, I'm a little uneasy going to Greyhaven. I haven't been there since... Shayless turned away. Haven't seen them since. Shayless turned away, staring out the nearby porthole. Her voice sounded strained when she spoke, her usual confidence faltering.
Neither have I think.
She cleared her throat.
I think they'll both be happy to see us. Greyhaven has done well with Abigail and Tyrael in charge.
You think they'll know how to kill a Shadow Lord? Patrick asked. Shayless relaxed, laughing loudly.
Nobody knows how to kill one of those. That friend of Nightingale's is probably dead. But apparently we need that piece of Pontifex she had, so...
Shayless turned back to lean down and inspect his work again.
But to finish this up, I have a feeling we'll need it.
Patrick held a weapon up and scoffed. Not sure how much good a gun will do against a Shadow Lord. I don't think Nightingale has any idea what we're up against.
Shayless nodded. Nightingale sure knows how to get herself into trouble, doesn't she?
Runs in your family, Patrick said. Look at what you have done. Flying over the Middle Passage isn't something I thought I'd ever be doing. You should know better than anyone how dangerous this is. Shayless gave him a flat look.
Matthew, the city that your parents live in really shows when you talk. No one's seen a demon of the Middle Passage since
doesn't live
Ida
in
and
Davy,
Rose kicked him out years ago. Middle of nowhere.
There's only one ship passing through here for a reason. You don't have to act tough around me. I know we're taking risk. Shayla sighed.
We don't have much of a choice, do we? Any other way would take too long.
Shayla grinned at him.
Plus, I doubt the lesser demon Rubicant is going to pop up today and eat us all up. It's not like we're provoking him or anything.
Patrick looked down at the passenger log below the ship. Yeah, I've heard you say that before, he chuckled. Right before something horrible popped up and almost ate us. Shayla rolled her eyes.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, I guess it was. Patrick's smile vanished, and he returned to his work, shoving some gears around absent-mindedly. Traveling together just be like old times, huh? Patrick muttered. Shayla sighed and pulled at one of his busy hands, stopping him from his work. She put it in her own and leaned in close to him.
Hey, Patrick.
She whispered. Oh, sorry. Patrick felt her hand squeeze his affectionately, and there was silence as the two awkwardly looked away from each other. Both Patrick and Shayla started at roughly the same time. Patrick quickly shut his mouth, signaling her to go first.
I'm glad you're here with me.
Shayla finally said. Patrick took a moment before turning to meet her green eyes. I was just going to say the same thing, he said, trying to force a smile. Flag check. Do the players have the story flag Last of Her Coochie?
No.
No, this is.
Continue to. Josh, what's the story we're continuing to?
Memnoch, the Flying Fortress.
Okay. That was impressive.
Okay.
Round of applause. Hey!
Someone bumped into Zeke, making him drop the cigarette he'd been smoking. It tumbled over the side of the ship, a faint orange ember quickly fading from sight. Zeke turned to glare intensely at whoever interrupted him. He expected the others to understand his desires to be alone. It wasn't anyone he'd seen before, judging by the tool belt and the grease-stained hands. He guessed someone was an engineer. Yeah. His hair was a bright blonde, and her wide eyes studied Zeke intently. It's rude to sneak up on people like that. Zeke reached into his pocket, fishing out a fresh cigarette and his lighter. What if I drop something important? She ignored his grumbling, pulling up beside him on the bench. She perched on it lengthwise, with both arms in front of herself, staring at him.
Sorry about that. Are you really Zeke Chang?
She didn't wait for an answer.
What are you doing booking passage on my ferry, anyway? Someone as rich as you probably has their own airship. Did it crash? Or maybe you were attacked by pirates. Brought down in a storm during a secret mission? Ran it into a floating island while...
I don't have an airship. Zeke interrupted. I mean, we have a family airship, I guess. Zeke admitted. But it's not like I could just use it anytime I want. He stopped himself for a moment, gave her a skeptical look. Wait, this is your airship? The girl laughed.
Yep.
She hopped into a standing position on the bench, leaning sideways on the railing.
Captain Epigrand, at your service. And my baby here is the oppressor.
She patted the railing proudly.
I'm also the chief engineer. I mean, I don't have a hat for either one, but you can just imagine that I'm wearing both.
She pranced around for a moment, making mock gestures of tipping a hat to him. Zeke smiled slightly, the unlit cigarette dangling from his lips. Oppressor. Huh. He flicked his lighter, igniting his cigarette and taking a long drag. You sure you wouldn't rather call it the tiniest ship in the port?
She's more than she seems.
Effie protested.
Besides, everybody's got to start somewhere. I'm saving up, okay? Each trip goes towards awesome upgrades. Just you wait. One day, I'll get the oppressor as grand as Memnoch.
Zeke raised an eyebrow. He remembered the name from one of his history classes at the Institute. He'd slept through most of those lectures, though, so he couldn't be sure. Isn't that a Romanian ship?
Flying fortress, more like.
Effie corrected him. Zeke scoffed. You'll have to get a new crew, too. This bunch here isn't enough to fly an entire fortress.
I know.
She whipped something out from one of her pockets, holding it toward him. Zeke took the offered card, turning it over in her hand. It was an Abraxas card with an image of a massive warship, many times larger and better armed than the Oppressor. Is that mine or Anne's? It's highlighted in 2 colors on this.
It's
It's
yours.
yours.
Want to try and blow it up? He asked, handing it back. Looks pretty tough. You'll definitely want my help. Effie's eyes widened.
Is a prince asking me if I want to play a game of Abraxas?
She fished around on her belt, snatching off a little pouch of dice and tossing it up and down in one hand. On one condition. Zeke lowered his voice to an urgent whisper. If the big guy asks you, tell him you wanted me to play. Rook would never let me live it down if I found out I actually liked the game. Effie gave him a semi-serious nod. Memnock, the Flying Fortress. You have been challenged by the famous Bromanian airship Memnock. Depending on how many players survive this Abraxas dice battle, gain the following rewards. Ooh, we get a rare unique item if we get all 4 of us, Anne. So,
Matthew.
it's time for everyone's favorite Abraxas! Twitch, you can't roll today because Josh broke it. I mean, GoDaddy broke it.
GoDaddy broke it.
But rule 3?
I mean, you
Is
can.
that what you call Joshua? GoDaddy?
Ew. Memnock, Flying Fortress. Each round, roll the black die and add its symbols to Memnock. If the skull is rolled, everyone loses 1 Abraxas point and no symbols are added. So we have a star, 2 books, 2 shields. That's what we're trying to get. I forget what we do here. We get 2...
10 health.
2 shield die, 2... Yeah.
Yeah.
We each have 10 health, 5 points to spend.
And 5 points to spend.
Where's the instructions?
It's in the book somewhere. So we each have 10 health and 5 points to spend. There's 5 rounds in
At
total.
what point it's fate, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fate.
It's the Abraxas points that when you roll the skull, you lose one of your...
No, you lose 1 of your health.
You lose a health or you lose a...
Abraxas points your health.
Okay.
So we're going to have 4... Essentially, we have 4 rolls. So it's Yahtzee style. We're going to roll our 4 dice. We're going to keep 1 of them each round. You can spend a fate to keep an extra die, or you can spend a fate to not keep a die. So you can draw it out that way.
2 purple and 2 white?
2 shield dice, 2 book dice. But yeah, 2 purple, 2 white works. You have to match the symbols exactly for each symbol you're off of. So if you have 1 less of 1 symbol or 1 more of 1 symbol, you lose 1 point for each one that you're off by. If you match perfectly, you gain 1 Abraxas point. In this case, he's going to add the black die worth of rolls to each round of the 5 rounds, so it's got the potential to add more symbols, or if it rolls a skull, we just lose an Abraxas point, and we just keep the star, 2 books, 2 shields as our goal. So, just a reminder, star, 2 books, 2 shields. Josh, can you roll a black die for us?
Yeah. Alright, here you go, Matt.
How many rounds?
5 rounds.
Oh, I rolled it twice.
Why would you do such a thing?
It was an accident.
If you match the symbols exactly, you get to gain back
1 Abraxas point. Yeah. Okay, so
AK visual.
who do we want rolling for us? You guys could pick Ann or Josh to roll for you. I mean, if you want to be shellfish, then I would pick Ann.
So it's 2 shields, 2 books.
Hold on. 1. Okay, so we're adding 2 shields and 2 books. So we need a star, 4 books, and 4
So
shields.
you want to put that up there. Just hike it all the way up.
Like your pants?
Yep.
Just kidding, your pants are hiked all the way down.
And then put the black die next to it with the symbols that we need.
Oh my god, so wait a second. We need
We need
7 shields?
no,
No.
you don't know how to count, Ann. So he rolled the black die twice.
5, 6, 7.
He was only supposed to roll it once.
Oh.
So we have to
Oh.
get 1 star, 2 books, 2 shields. I mean 4 books, 4 shields.
Yep.
Okay. So chat, do you want Josh or Ann to roll for you?
Easier if I roll for them because they're going to be in 2 separate windows.
Your window.
Probably makes sense.
Fine.
Okay. Joshua. That is a
Yosh.
fantastic roll. Look at that roll.
6, 6, 6, 6.
Why is your name Anal?
Not a great roll. I'm gonna keep a shield and a book combo. I'm assuming that Twitch is gonna keep their 2 shields and a book.
That would be my guess.
Yeah.
I think I am also going to keep a shield and a book combo.
So, Anal, are you keeping 2 shields and a book or 2 books and a shield?
Doesn't really matter, right?
I mean, not really.
Which die is the purple die is the book heavy die, the white die is the shield heavy die?
Correct.
Or as
Did you
Josh
mark-
calls it, the white die and the black die?
Did you mark the Twitch's die?
No. Why would I do that? Which one are you? It's a 2 shield and a book?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to keep a purple. That'll be 2 books and 1 shield.
Keep rolling, 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 rolling.
All right, so they're going to roll.
I am rolling garbage right now.
Ooh.
I got my star. So I have 3 books, 2 shields.
In total?
With my 2 dice. If I lock everything in now, I actually hit it.
Don't be a dick.
That won't be a dick.
Twitch is going to lock in the 5, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
That's a book and shield. Okay, so Twitch right now has 3 shields, 2 books. So they're 1 shield, 2 books, and a star short.
1 shield, 2 books,
And a star, yeah.
So they basically need to roll a star on
The book die.
book die.
Yeah.
Oh, can only spend 1 fate die to lock an extra die? Okay.
And which one are you keeping? Your star?
So I was thinking about that, but if I do that, there's no way I can't go over the books.
What do you have book-wise
I
right
don't
now?
think this would make it the 4 books, and I don't think that there's a shield-only face
On the
on
yes,
the
there
white
is.
die. Is there?
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
There's a shield. There's 2. I think there's 2 shield-only faces on the white die.
Just 1.
Just 1.
Yeah. There's 2 blanks on that.
So
And
that
my-
means I have a 50% chance of getting what I need then. All right, yeah, I'm gonna lock in the purple.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to actually lock in 1 extra die.
Dick.
It doesn't change anything for you guys because you saw I still get a roll after I
I
get
know.
them.
I know.
So I have everything I need. I just need to roll a blank on my last one.
Okay. Which you could technically spend another fate die to not keep it if you don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get...
If you roll like a star.
Yeah. Okay. So Twitch is rolling a purple and a white.
Really, Matt? Come on, dude.
What'd you roll?
I rolled 2 blanks, and right now I only have 2 shields and 2 books. Are you
I mean, I
gonna
know
spend
you
a
said
fate
that
to
I
reroll?
killed you, but I really
I
feel
rolled
like
one
you
sh-
kill you.
I rolled 1 shield, so I'm 1 over. So I think I'm going to keep it.
I'm still gonna spend 1 fate to not keep anything.
Okay.
Oh my god, look at Twitch's roll.
Twitch needed a star, so it's good.
All the stars.
So Twitch right now has 3 shields and 2 books. So they don't want to take.
They want to take the book.
They want to take the book shield. So the 7. So that gives them all their. That's actually everything.
So they just need to roll a blank?
They need to roll a blank.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm locked in. I have 1 over.
Okay. So that means that no matter what, this last roll, I have to keep both of them.
Yep, you have to keep both.
Okay.
And then Twitch
Okay.
is just rolling the...
The
White die.
black die. Yeah.
If I lock in this blank die, then I will just be 1 icon under.
1 icon of what?
If I a shield.
Oh, I mean, you could just keep your shield and then just re-roll the other one. You have a
Right, but
two-third.
then I have to.
You actually have a 50% chance of being the same or better.
But if I get a whole bunch of shields,
If you
if I
roll,
get 2 shields, a book, and a star, then I'll be a whole bunch over.
if you roll a 3, 4, or 5, you're fine. It's the exact same result, if not better, than what you have here. So it's a 50-50 shot of being better for you.
What are you doing, Ann?
I rerolled it. I'm 1 over.
So it's the same result for you, and you keep a fate. Okay.
Got your star. Is that about right? Are you like
I got it!
You got it?
What the...
Did you really?
Yeah, my last roll was perfect.
Right.
I have a star, I have 4 shields, and I have 4 books. I got it exactly.
Twitch also got it exactly.
So we each gain a fate. I mean, an Abraxas point, not a fate.
Can you go over 10 though?
Don't think it says you can't go over 10. I could be wrong, but... Go team.
And what did you end up with?
She was 1 over, so she loses 1 Abraxas point.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was
So
1
now
over.
I'm at 9 health.
Yep.
So that was a really good round.
Yeah, I think that was.
Okay, so that was round 1.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to clear those dice out.
Yeah, but just as you start with, it does say max.
And
Yeah.
Josh, can you please roll
you
a...
gain 1.
I'm sorry, Yash. Can you roll a black die for us?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
4 books.
4 books. Okay, so we need 6 books, 2 shields, and a star. Interesting.
Not easy.
All right.
All right.
And you ready to roll?
No.
Yath Queen. Oh, Yash Queen?
That's a bad roll.
Ugh. I guess I'll keep that one. But that's the book die. I don't know if I want to keep that one. I'm gonna spend a point to reroll everything.
I think I might do the same because I got my star, but I got it on my shield die. And I need the star.
I got my star on my book die. That was a great.
Because basically you need to roll double books on your book die. On both your book die.
And then you need to roll a shield and a.
Shield in a book and then a star or shield in a book. No, you need to roll a blank and a star double shield book. No.
All right, so
Hold on.
perfect roll. So
2 dice with 2 books each and 2 dice with 1 book each is impossible without going over.
You need to have the star roll on your book die.
you need to have the star roll on your book die. So that would be a star, 4 books, 2 shields. So you can't get it because you can't get the other 2 books without getting more shields. So it's an impossible roll.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. We're not going to be able to hit it. We're just going to have to get as close as we can.
That's interesting. Okay.
I think Twitch keeps the book and the shield.
That's on their shield die.
Yeah, that's on their shield die.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think that makes sense.
So it's on the black face.
I think I'm going to spend an Abraxas point to re-roll. Because
Yeah, I'm spending it
I
to
rolled
reroll.
bad.
Okay.
So they're going to roll 2 purples and a white.
Great rolls, Matt. Great rolls. So I got a book and a shield on my shield die, so I'm going to keep that. Twitch got their double book and a shield. So they need to keep that one, right?
Yeah, I think they should keep that one. I got a book and a shield on my shield die. So I'm going to keep that.
Okay. And what did you get? Oh, you got your star double book shield. That was nice.
No, I already got that last round.
Oh, so you just didn't go yet?
She got another one.
Oh. Oh, I see what you're saying.
But now all I need is the 4 books and 1 shield.
You can spend a point or just
I don't know if I
re-roll.
should do what you. Yeah. That's what I think.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So they're rolling a purple and a white.
Okay. I got a double book and a shield. That makes me happy. If it makes me happy, it can't be that bad.
Yes, I got that.
Yes. So Twitch got another double book and a shield.
They're missing a star,
Yeah, they are missing a star.
but
Unless they spend their Abraxas point to reroll,
Yeah,
and then
I'm
we
not-
all have an equal number of...
yeah, I'm not sure if they should send us back at this point or they should. Because what do they add if they take that?
If they take that, they'll be one shield over, and they'll have their books... Actually, no, they won't. They'll be one book short still.
There'll be one book short.
1, 2,
still.
3, 4, 5. They'll be a book short, a shield over, and a star short, so they're off by 3.
Okay. So I think
Off by 3 with nothing but being worse as an option.
Can I just put these 2 white dice in the garbage can? If I get nothing on if I roll 2 more blank faces, then I got it exactly.
It's an impossible
no,
roll.
No, you can. If
can?
you roll 2 blanks, because you would have 4 books, 2 shields.
It's
and a
6.
star.
It's 6 books we
Or
need.
6 books.
It's
yes.
not an impossible
Yeah,
roll.
it's 6. Yeah, it's 6 books. You need 6 books, Dan. It's
Oh,
impossible.
I need 2 more books.
Yeah.
I say Twitch is going to spend
Okay.
a fate to reroll.
Okay.
Making an executive decision here.
So you're gonna roll another purple and a white.
Oh, good. I got my star on my book die.
Are we rolling again?
Yeah.
Yep.
This is terrible. Why can't I roll like this for when we're attacking?
So I'm a shield over, a book under, and I've got my star, which I think is the best we could possibly do. Off by 2.
So if I take what I have now, I'm a shield over, 2 books under.
So 3 off.
Do we
3
have
off's
to
not
take-
bad. What, Ann?
There's still one more roll after this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, correct. Twitch rolled blanks. So they want to take the blank
That's what I need.
on their shield dice.
Do I take the book and the shield on my book dice, or do I take the blank on my shield dice?
I don't know what you need. What do you have right now?
I have 3 books, 2 shields, and a star. I need more books.
You take the blank.
Take the blank,
Yeah, I
and then
think.
hope for the 2 books and the shield.
Yeah,
Okay. The Twitch got 2 blanks. What? Twitch is taking
the
shield blank.
the shield blank.
Okay, so they have just the purple die left.
Yeah, because ideally here they would roll the star on their book die.
Okay. And are you done now, or you still have 1 roll left too, right?
Yeah, she has
Yeah,
one
I've got
roll
one
left.
more roll left.
Oh fuck.
You can spend a point to
Yeah, because I'll be off by a lot.
yeah. And Twitch rolled a 2. They might want to spend another point.
Yeah.
This is gonna be.
Can we trade dice? That'd be perfect. All right. So Twitch will spend
I'm
another
one
point.
under and 1 over, so I'm 2 health.
2?
Yep.
Okay.
That's not bad for an impossible roll.
Yeah, 2 is the best possible we could do, I think, on this one.
So and you're at 7 health.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. So Twitch is rerolling, I'm rerolling.
Yep. So we need to roll another purple.
Not great, but not terrible. Okay, so I'm at 6 books, a star,
Okay.
and 4 shields, so I'm off by 2.
Oh, so you're losing 2 health.
Losing 2 health.
Twitch did not get their roll. They got a book.
I mean, a book helps.
Book helps, but it's not
Yeah.
enough.
So they have 4 books, 2 shields, no stars. So
They're
they've
off
got
by
their
3?
shields, they're off by 3.
That's not too bad.
All right, so
I got 4 books, 3 shields, so I'm off by 3 as well.
okay, so I have 9 health. Twitch has 8 health. Anne has 7 health.
I have 6.
Oh, we're in a conga line. All right. Cool. So, Yash, can you roll a black die for us? So that was round 2 of 5. That was a kind of brutal round 2. Stop rolling all the same symbol.
I rolled all 4 books again.
I hate you. Okay. So, same deal as last time.
All right.
Round 3, rule 3.
Why did you roll so many books, Joshua?
Because he's a butthole.
Ugh.
Lord, that was terrible.
I rolled basically all blanks.
I think I keep the book and the shield on my
Yeah, because it gives you the
shield
books
die?
you need.
Sucks.
I think I take a blank shield die.
And then Twitch is going to do the same thing as me. They're taking a book and shield.
Do you think taking a blank shield die is the right way to go?
You take your star. Your star is.
Oh, yeah, you got to take your
You got to take
your
star.
book star.
I only rolled 1 book on my book die, so that was like. I could spend a fate point, but I just need to. If I get the 2 high rolls, and I get a book and a shield, that it's the same thing as a blank.
Yeah.
So like the blank's not too bad.
Yeah. All right, so Twitch is keeping the same thing as me, book and shield on shield die.
Okay, so
Rolly.
Joshua is a book nerd.
Okay, cool. I got... Ooh. Oh, I think I'm going to spend the Nebraska's point to keep an extra one.
oh, you got both your book dice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I got my book dice perfect on that, so I'm spending an extra I'm spending a fate die, a fate
You're
point.
down to 1 fate point now.
Down to 1 fate point, which sucks.
That's brutal.
But my health is good.
Okay.
I've got 9 health.
Twitch got the purple die, 2 books and a shield, which is
That's really good.
good lock. I got the same thing, 2 books and a shield, so I'm locking that in.
Okay.
I
Yeah, what
got
do you-
a 7 again on my book die, and my white die are both blank. So I feel like I should take one of my blank die.
Yeah.
I mean, if I take the 7, that'll be my 2 books. That'll be 2 more of my 4 books, and a shield.
Your
But
reverse
there's no way
die.
I can not get any shield without a book die. I'm getting my blank die.
Yeah. And roll. Yes! I rolled a blank. Yes.
I got what I needed for that last one. Cool. I got my star.
All right, so Twitch rolled a book and then a book and 2 shields. They definitely don't want the book and 2 shields.
But the book doesn't.
The book sucks too. It might be worth it for them to spend it. They still have 3 fate points.
Okay, but let next roll's it.
Yeah, the next roll's it, by the way. What do you think, Josh? Because then, as of right now, they'd
Chat
be
saying reroll them both.
they'd be off by they'd be off by 3 if they took the 3 and then rolled a blank. Yeah, I think we roll them both.
Okay.
Okay, so they're down to 2 fate.
All right. And then they can roll another purple and a white, which was not good.
Honestly, not terrible. They're off by 3.
They're off by 3.
Yeah. All right, so ooh, and you got a real high roll there.
Yep, it's not good.
All right, so how much are you
Puts me
off by?
by 4,
Ugh.
which puts me at 3 health.
Oof, with 2 rounds left. How much fate do you have
Yep.
left?
Just 4 fate.
4.
Okay, so you're in good shape fate-wise. So if Josh stops rolling terribly on the black tie, then
Yeah, let's not do that anymore, Joshua.
You want to roll a black die?
No, then I'm responsible for bad rolls.
so Twitch, the hell was that?
Sorry, it was my pen on my plate.
So they're off by 3 because they have 4 books, 2 shields, and no stars. So they're down 1 star and down 2 books.
I have 1 star, 5 books, and 4 shields, so I'm off by 3. 2.
Okay.
3.
3.
So I'm at 3 health as well.
Okay, so Anne's at 3 health, you're at 3 health, Twitch is at 5 health, I'm at 7 health.
Okay.
Alright, so roll that black die, Josh.
Roll that beautiful beam footage.
3 books and a shield.
I mean, slightly better?
Slightly better.
Is this one an impossible roll? No, it's not an impossible
I don't
roll.
think it's impossible.
No. So we need...
I feel like there should be a rule against impossible rolls.
Impossible rolls?
Yes.
All right, so we need 5 books, 3 shields, and a star.
Yes.
I rolled a star on my book die, so I'm keeping that for sure.
Keeping this one.
What is this roll?
Great roll, Ann. I think... I don't even know what the hell Twitch is going to keep.
I think they both spend a fate point.
Keep one of the 4s.
Might not be...
That's what I was thinking.
So they need...
3 shields.
You need 5 books. So
Yeah.
they need double book. If they get double books and a shield and a book.
The one shield by itself is going to hurt them.
Yeah, I think the one shield hurts. How many fate points they have left?
2.
All right, I'm spending a fate point then.
Yeah, you've got the fate point.
Yeah,
Ann.
you got fate points. Ann.
So do you guys want to keep the 4, or do you want to spend the fate point? That would let us be over by 1. How much do we have health-wise? You guys have 5 health.
Wah, wah, wah.
And what do you think Twitch should do?
We are at round 4, so it's this round and another round. You said that they have 2 fate.
Yeah, they have 2 fate.
I would spend it, and I feel like you only use at once in one round a fate. Even though obviously they've spent. No, they've spent. This is round 4, and that'd be like 1 fate per round.
Yeah, they've averaged 1
Yeah.
fate per round. I'm a little ahead of the curve, but okay, so they're gonna re-roll then.
Okay. It's a much better roll.
Okay, 2 books and a shield. I'm keeping that.
All right, I don't get my star, but I'm okay with that.
I got my other 2 books.
Okay, so Twitch is keeping their 2 books and a shield.
Okay. So I just need a book and a shield roll. And a blank.
I need my star roll on my book die.
I'm not going to lock an extra die in because that will screw Twitch and chat over. Alright, so... They,
You know, Twitch and chat are the same thing, right?
And in chat. So they locked in a purple, so it's a purple and 2 white dice. There we go, guys.
Ooh. I got my star, but it's on my shield dice.
Yeah, me too.
But theoretically, no.
I think I'm keeping it because right now I'll be off by 2, with the potential to be off by 1 if I roll a book on my book die. I'm keeping the 7.
Twitch got their...
Oh,
Star.
nice.
They got just what they needed.
And just what they needed.
Technically, they locked their whole roll and they're good.
Yeah, if they... Well, they can't lock their whole roll.
They
in.
can't.
Yeah.
So
All right.
there was a blank's pretty easy to get, and book shield it's 1/6 chance, but
Yeah. They're okay.
they'll get pretty close.
Because it's the same die that they're rolling too.
Yeah.
So they've got a decent chance.
They got a decent chance.
All right. So, Anna, what are you taking?
I think I'm going to take that 7. I'm going to need 2 books, but hopefully I can get just 2 books on the other 2 die. Or should I take the blank
What do you have locked in, Anna?
shield? 2 books, and a shield. So I need a star, 3 books, 2 shields. Maybe I should lock in that blank.
The blank wouldn't.
Yeah, I think maybe you lock in the blank. Because then you want to roll a star on your book die, and then a book and a shield on the other white die.
Yeah.
Okay. So Twitch is rolling their 2 white dice.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Oh,
what happens if I lock in a die now?
Okay, so I think I'm going to spend a fate to not lock anything in. Because I'm off by a lot.
I'm off by 2, and I'm hoping... I can't do worse. So I'm going to spend a fate to get one more roll.
Yeah, I got to spend another fate.
Twitch is going to lock in one of their blanks.
Okay. And that's the blank phase.
All I need is 1 shield. I'm off by 1.
Okay, so Twitch ideally rolls a book and a shield here, and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I rolled a blank. I'm okay with this.
I rolled a shield.
No. I need a book and
I'm
a
okay
shield.
with this.
I'm off by 2.
Twitch is over by 2 or 1.
So that'll give them 1 extra shield
And 1 extra star.
and 1 extra star. They're off by 2.
Okay. That's not horrible.
No, it's not. Okay. And then, Anne, how much are you off by?
I'm over a shield.
Only 1. Nice.
Yeah, so I only have 2 health going into this last round. That was what that means.
Josh, how much health do you
I
have?
lost 1 health.
So you
I'm
have
at
2.
health.
Twitch is at 3. I'm at 5.
And you still have 3 points, though, right?
3 fate.
Yes, I have 3 fates.
Okay, I have 2 fate. So I think...
We might be okay.
We rolled a skull!
As long
Okay, so Josh rolled a skull, so we all lose 1 Abraxas point.
and no symbols are added.
And no symbols are added. So we're going for a star, 2 books, and 2 shield, which is very manageable.
It is
Except
manageable.
I only have 1 health.
So, me and you need to hit it exact, Ann.
Oh my god. Okay, so for 3 fate, I can reroll or lock in an additional die, right?
Yeah.
I think I lock in my star here, right?
Yeah, you should lock in a star. If you have a star, you should lock it in.
Okay. So Twitch is locking in their star?
Yeah. I rolled poorly, so I'm locking in a blank. So all
I
Twitch...
got my star on my white die, so it's my star, 1 book, and my 2 shields, which means all I want now is a single book.
On one of your white dice.
If
On one of your blue dice.
you
Purple dice.
should I lock?
No,
Yeah, wait.
because those are your ones that give you your books.
The books by themselves.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you just want 1 book, so I would keep those in the play. All right, so... Oops.
Okay. I got a blank, so I'm keeping that. Twitch got a blank, a single book, and a book and a shield.
Yeah.
So Twitch keeps
They
the
got
single
their
book,
single
right? And then they just hope for blanks on the way. They still have 1 fate. Do they lock in their blank?
They might want to. I might lock in. So I rolled my star with 2 books and a shield. And I also rolled a shield on my other shield die.
Okay.
So I think I might lock in the other shield, and then just need to roll blank.
So Twitch spends a fate here to lock in their blank and their single book. They've got Twitch. You guys only have 2 health. That's the issue. And 1 fate.
Yeah, I'm spending it. I'm taking the shield. I have 1 fate, so I can do 1 more roll afterwards.
Gotcha.
If I don't roll my blank.
And what do you have right now?
I only need a single book, and I did not get that on this roll.
So you're keeping your blanksy daisy.
Do I keep my blank, or do I spend the fate to re-roll it all?
I think you need a blank anyways, right?
You're going to need 2 blanks anyway. You just need a book on 1 of them. So I might take the blank while you have it.
Yeah, you guys could only be 1 off.
Yeah.
I can't even be 1 off.
So that means
I think they might want to just take their blank.
they need the single book.
They do need the single book.
Oh, I see what you're saying, though.
But if they're only 1 off, they roll for blanks.
Yeah, that's true. It gives them more options if they take the blank, because then if they even roll a book and a shield on the 1
Then
die,
there's
then they're
off.
only 1 off.
Yeah.
So I think you play the odds and you take the blank. I think you're right.
It's a 1/6 chance on the die.
The blank
But
is
if you roll all blanks on all 3 dice, you only under 1.
yeah.
And
So
then you're fine.
You're fine. You're not playing to match. You're playing to not be off by more than 1.
Yeah. So I think the blank makes the most sense. And then if you roll a blank on the other purple one, and if you roll a shield and a book,
Then that means you're only over by 1.
yeah, you're only over by 1. So I think that makes the most sense.
Yeah, I agree. And then it keeps a fate open too. So if you roll nice here, then you can.
They rolled bad here.
Okay, so they spend a fate to reroll it. Okay, I got my single book. So right now I'm matching with 1 die left, so I need to roll a blank.
Yep. I'm already matching. I rolled a single book. I only have 1 health left, so I need to spend my last fate point to roll again.
Okay.
And Twitch is
So
spending.
what does that mean? That means if I spend a fate now and you spend your fate now, I have to live with whatever result I roll next?
No, we're taking fate to roll again. So no one's gone out yet.
Yeah, no one's out yet, so you're going to get
Okay.
minimum 2 more rolls.
Okay.
I have to take my next roll. I'm out of fate.
I'm out of fate also. All right.
So Twitch is re-rolling their purple
Yeah.
in there.
I rolled a blank. I matched.
I rolled a book and a shield. I did not match. I died.
Twitch rolled poorly.
They take the 5.
They take the 5 and hope for a blank.
Take the 5 and hope for a blank.
I can re-roll both of these. I'm going to spend my fate.
Okay.
I still have 1 more fate after that, but I don't think it
Technically, you
matters.
guys are still alive. You have a 1/3 chance of making it out.
Yep. All right.
Damn it. Can I still re-roll? Is this the roll I have to take?
Yes, because I'm out.
And I'm out as well.
I hate you both.
So Twitch is over by
In case
2.
you're wondering.
Yep.
3, actually. No, 2.
I'm also over by 3.
3.
3.
3. All right, so Twitch is out. Josh is out. Ann, are you out?
I'm out.
I'm in. I have 5 health. How do you play? I win. 1 adventure, we get 50 gold.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I get 50 gold.
No. Good things, bye.
We got about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I think we finished reading up what we got here.
Can we all agree that the reason that we died is is because Josh rolled the black die terribly?
No, it's because Josh lost my papers.
Makes sense.
All right, so making friends. Effie giggled, packing up from the game. With enough room for a table on the deck, the group had played on the wooden floor, sitting crisscross. without enough room on. Oh, Jesus. Effie went for the Memnock card last. Zeke snatched it off the deck, holding it out of her reach.
Hey!
She leaned closer, reaching for it.
What gives?
You'd expect someone of my standing to keep his word, right? I hold everyone to that same standard. He stood up easily, holding it out of her reach. Effie stopped struggling, but continued glaring.
You spoiled snob. Give me my card back.
Zeke gave her a genuine smile. Come on, think of it as a motivation. I'll keep this safe until the oppressor can match a ship like the Memnock. Once it does, you can have your card back. He held out his hand to her. Effie's glare melted away into a smile.
Sneaky snake.
It's an honest win, he shrugged. She took his hand with a remarkably tight grip, pulling herself to a stand.
Well, Zeke, you better be ready, because I'm coming back for that card sooner than you think.
Effie! Someone shouted from below. Float core's acting up again. We're drifting to starboard.
On it!
Effie let go and did a dramatic bow.
Good day, Prince John.
She bounced away, slipping through the trapdoor that led below decks and out of sight. Continued to The City at the Edge of the World, page 266.
Justice has been gone for like a couple hours, and he's already hit in on a new girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Greyhaven was like something out of a dream. Remi leaned out as far over the railing as she could, eyes wide as she took in its unearthly quality. After a few years in Middara, Remi had spent most of her time in places that could have existed back on Earth, at least in some point in history. Greyhaven was not like that. At first glance, the city seemed similar to anywhere else they'd visited. Stone and wooden buildings, packed tenements in some areas, and sprawling estates in others. The city was set atop a hill with levels ascending gradually in a sloping dome worn away over many eons. Nearby, a large crater had been carved away, revealing a large pile that went deep within the earth miles from the city. The piece of ground that the crater was made from wasn't gone, though. Instead, it floated over the city, a gigantic island of stone. It wasn't a single unified piece of earth either. All around it, smaller chunks hung in the air. The central, largest island was the greatest of all. Remi's eyes were wide as she stared at it. The island held a stone fortress almost as large as the Arson Castle in Alania. The building had several rising tiers, with cannons and patrolling soldiers at each one. She looked to Nightingale and pointed excitedly as they started to descend.
What is that?
Remi gasped. Gage seemed to share her sentiment. He skittered back and forth on the railing, only stopping now and again to look up at the floating keep, then to Remi, before he began running again. It's the Amaranthine? Zeke said, stepping up beside her. His eyes seemed distant.
It was a really important stronghold when Alania was founded. Lo and Ida Zhang, they cleared the place of monsters and helped set up the city.
Nightingale added. Remi looked between the two, her eyes finally resting on Zeke.
Lo Zhang, you mean your dad?
Zeke looked back at the building in awe. Yeah, he was supposed to be quite the adventurer. He even helped build this MMO-looking castle. Remi smiled, even though Zeke didn't.
With such an impressive fortress, why isn't Greyhaven the capital of Alania?
She asked, pointing down below. They were descending towards the city, near a large set of docks on one of the lowest chunks of floating stone.
The city is amazing.
It has Achilles' heels all over it. Zeke turned back to look at her. If anything happens to the float core holding the whole thing up, it could be a disaster. Plus, it also relies on the Aegis Stone to keep the place safe.
The Aegis Stone?
Remi asked. Zeke waved her question away. Long story. Anyways, the portal to Earth was found in the city of Alania, so it makes a much better capital. And since Greyhaven isn't anything but a novelty now, it's become unimportant. They put my cousin Tyrael and his wife Abigail in charge, appointed them as Duke and Duchess of Greyhaven. Remi kept prodding.
Wait, so you're a prince? And Nightingale's a princess. So who was the king when they founded the country?
Alania was founded by both of our parents. Lo and Balthazar established it as a diarchy. He saw the look of confusion on her face. Geez, don't you listen in history class? It's like a monarchy, except there's 2 rulers.
But your dad, Lo, he died.
Remi asked timidly.
So what happened to the Zhang's claim to the throne of Elenia?
Zeke shot her a glance. Seems like you've answered your own question, Remi. This castle, along with the many other Zhang dukes and duchesses of Elenia, are a testament to what he did while he was alive. The Arsons and Zhangs rule in tandem, though I'd say that if it wasn't for my father's death, we'd be in a better position due to the overwhelming numbers. The Zhangs rule most of Elenia, while the Arsons preside at its capital only. Zeke sounded strangely bitter. Nightingale put her hands on her hips.
You bad-mouthing my family, Zeke? Are we going to have to fight about it?
Nope, I couldn't win. Zeke smiled and swatted at one of her pigtails. Plus, they'd marry us off to stop the fighting.
Oh, damn.
Nightingale bit her lip and glanced sideways.
You're probably right.
Remi was quiet for a moment, then nudged him.
Well, I can't wait to explore the Amaranthine. It's amazing.
She leaned a little further off the edge, eyes focusing on a system of wires and small towers connected many of the islands within the city below. They didn't hold the islands in place, but instead supported little gondolas that were moving up and down.
What an awesome way to get around.
We don't have time. Oops, that was yours.
She was interrupted. Stepping up behind them. She cleared the frog in her throat. Your friend is in the lair of a Shadow Lord. It'll be a miracle if she's still alive when we get there as it is. You really want to make her wait so you can sightsee?
Remi deflated.
Of course not.
She muttered. Once they docked, Shayless led them straight along the main road and out of the crater in the city. Thick stone was soon replaced with dense arboreal forest. Remi could see the Amaranthine in the distance, its colossal outline getting less and less distinct as they walked away. Continue to the secluded forest, page 367. The further they traveled, the clearer it became that they were off the beaten path. Rook can tell from the way that the trail seemed to narrow with every mile and the increasingly weathered look of the trail markers.
Take it, not many people come out this way.
He muttered when Shayla stopped them to consult her map again. She pressed the crumpled parchment flat against a nearby tree, looking it up and down with an intense, frustrated scrutiny.
What reason would they have to come out here? Especially if they know a Shadow Lord is located somewhere around here.
She froze, eyes narrowing on a particularly dense patch of shrubs to their right.
Something's coming. Weapons ready.
Continue to dense foliage, page 368.
Dun, dun, dun.
I don't have that.
That's the encounter.
Oh, that's the encounter.
Yep.
That's to where we fight some dense foliage. Get
You're
your
a
best weed
dense
whackers out,
foliage.
boys.
The
It's an
nearer
80s
you
bush.
get to the space marked as the Shadow Lord's domain on the map, the more monsters you seem to run into. Even Shayless is surprised at the densely populated thicket. Two Gavauden roam nearby, and in the distance you can see a river flowing slowly, tentacles skimming the water's surface. Yay, tentacles! But that is going to conclude today's session of Twitch Plays Middara. Thank you all for joining us today. Make sure that you follow us on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. Definitely our Instagram channel that we don't post in. And most importantly, in our Discord channel, where?
We praise Joshua for appropriately pronouncing Memnock.
Sure. If you have Amazon Prime, you've got Prime Gaming, which means you get one free sub every month. We'd love it if you used it on us because we like money.
Spaceballs 2's the search for more money.
The search for more money. Make sure you're joining us for all of our upcoming streams. Tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, we've got our continuation of Twitch Plays Kingdom Death, where we do an ongoing campaign of Kingdom Death Monster with you fine folks at home, controlling one of the characters and rolling dice with us as we fight.
The Watcher. The one that watches.
The one that watches. That's Josh when someone else is taking a poop.
Are the one that watches.
Who watches the Watcher?
Who watches the Watchmangers? We've also got a spotlight coming up at the end of October, so stay tuned.
We have a couple other spotlights coming up as well once we get the package in.
Once we get the package in. So Josh is always looking to get a
I'm
package in his hands.
Very excited for one of those packages.
Bet you
really
are.
Big package.
I feel like all three of them or at least two of them are going to be the same size.
It's not about
I think they all come in the same package. It's a triple threat.
It's a dribble threat?
Yeah, it's a triple threat.
The package dribbles?
Yep.
No, just keep on going. No.
I don't know. I think that's that's it.
Yeah.
Right? Anne, anything?
No.
All right, thank you all for joining us today. Signing off for Twist Gaming, I'm Matt.
I'm Ann.
I'm Josh.
Your Josh's head and hands. Spirit fingers. Thank you for joining us today. We hope to see you all soon. Bye-bye.